Hi, hello, good evening, and good day. We had a very upsetting week in the Australian Survivor world. We took a massive blow to our faves, our
Yeah,
list of faves here. Yeah, it's not
yeah.
looking good. It's not looking good. As a
Ugh.
result, our rankings are being cut from 3 to 1. No, honestly, it's only because it's 4 people left. You'd be nominating more, almost as many people as are still there. If we're doing the top three. But
Sure.
anyway, lots to get into. Lots and lots of misery to discuss. So let's go.
Ugh.
I am Kyle Petty, and as always, I am joined by my besties, John Dunphy and Gina Morgino. And this is Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. You can find us in the socials at Strat Chat Pod or on our still unupdated website, stratchatpod.com. Starting to question why I'm still paying for this sucker. All right, so 2 episodes of Australian Survivor. Yeah, Matt Levin says that sex feels so good, and it sure does. Sure does. Feels better than the way these episodes left us this week, huh? Yeah, because this is rough. This is rough. All right, so here we go. Australian Survivor. So this week we said goodbye to Simon and Nina.
Oh, God.
I know, not a lot of good things to say
Devastation.
here. Not a lot of good things to say here. In our first episode of the week on Sunday, Matt won immunity, which is starting to put more of a target on his back right now. Now he's really on the tip of everyone's tongue here because he's just going to make a tear for the top. If somebody doesn't do something to stop this man. Now, the circumstances around Simon's exit is really what I want to discuss here because this tribal had me hot. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought like this is like really ridiculous. So after Matt won immunity, George is obviously now suggesting just repeating the same thing, right? We want to just go back with Simon, do Nina as a backup, and blah blah blah. Obviously. What?
I just feel like, am I crazy? Like last week, did we not all see Matt finally realizing like I've actually got to make a big move and like
Right.
going to Simon? Let's take a swing at George, and now it's like that never happened.
I feel like that's been this whole season, though. We keep seeing these conversations with people being like, all right, we can't let George get any farther. We have to take the shot right now. He can't possibly go any farther in this game. But we're going to vote for Nina, right? And it's like, but what? What do you mean? You're just talking about how you have to get rid of George. Why is nobody willing to take the shot?
I mean, maybe I'm just a fool.
Well, all right. So
I just felt like this was
in the
different.
week, yeah, I thought that things were a little bit different here. Well, because part of me understands why no one wants to take a shot at George because you can't really trust anyone else around him either. Every time somebody says what the plan is supposed to be, like everyone acts like they're all in agreement, and all of a sudden George snaps his fingers and it changes just like that, and no one actually follows through. So I could understand being a little nervous to actually go through with it. I guess I just even with saying that, it's still just very frustrating to watch because I don't understand what these people are thinking is going to happen here. If you don't do anything, like, do you really think that you have an argument if you're sitting next to him?
And I feel like
How
this
do you
is a
not
big
see
conversation
this?
in the second episode we're going to talk about too. It's like, I don't
Yeah.
understand what case you think you're going to make against the jury if you've just lied down and done whatever George said to do. You
Mhm.
haven't done anything in the game. You've just followed
No.
orders and you were
Right.
last on the pecking order. Like, I
Right.
don't understand.
Wow. And that is really to this point here that Matt brought up.
Yeah.
You know, no offense to Grandpa Jerry, but stop with the mentor stuff. You're being dragged, sweetie. But it's true.
Yeah.
Right. And I felt like in that tribal where Simon left, and like, sure, maybe Simon could have been a little bit more careful, because obviously he got a lot of pushback from people on the beach at back at camp when he was calling Jerry a pawn and this and that. Like, Jerry didn't respond well to it, and he kind of did the same thing in this tribal. But you have to see that it's true. I mean, like, oh God, it's just so disappointing to just watch this. And then that whole thing with Jerry being like, George has been a mentor to me. Like, when at your job, have you ever had a mentor? It's like, but Simon's not competing with his boss at his job for $500,000 on a game show. It's a completely different situation.
Right. And like, I know you're gonna scoff at me, but like, if it's Thursday night and you're playing Uno with your boss, I don't matter. It doesn't matter how much you may have inspired me along my career. If I have a draw 4 and you just shouted Uno, guess what, sucker? You're getting pounded.
Also, like, not for nothing, I can understand the like mentoring thing to a point. Like, if somebody has played this game before very successfully, and you align with them to kind of learn some tricks of the trade along the way, I get that to a point. But by at least merge, you need to have your own game.
Yes.
Like, learn things from him.
Sure.
And then use them.
Couldn't one argue then that maybe you didn't actually learn anything?
Right, like, what are you doing with the information?
If you don't understand and you haven't done anything, then you haven't learned anything either. Like,
exactly.
There's only so much benefit to learning information if you're not going to use it to do anything to benefit yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And let's not forget that this tribal came on the heels of Jerry finding out that his mentor tried to betray him.
They had that whole conversation in isolation, and I was like, oh, perfect. We're finally going to see something really good. And then nothing freaking happened.
All is forgiven. Thank you for bringing me my chair. Even after Nina pointed out, hey, look, Matt is even like, did you notice that George was not actually speaking to you? He had Matt say everything because he knows that like, you have more trust with Matt. He's like, yeah, I did notice that. But he's my mentor and he's my soulmate and I love him so much and I will never make anything against him.
He said like
so
3 times, 3 separate times in this episode, between the tribal, between confessionals, between whatever, trust takes so long to build up and it takes 2 seconds to shatter. Did it shatter because you're still just blindly following everything he's telling you to do? It doesn't seem like you broke any trust with him at all.
Yeah. And like, I feel like Jerry making the whole mentor argument at tribal, it just if you happen to be there in the end with George, like, none of this is making you look good. It's just gonna I think JLP at one point made a comment about like Nina rolling her eyes because Jerry had been like, we've all have been making decisions equally and this and that. There's no leader. And I'm like, the whole jury is rolling their eyes, not just Nina right now. And it's
it's like, forget rolling your eyes. I don't understand how he even believed that enough to say it. In what universe do you think that you are making equal amounts of moves to the person who's been driving the bus the entire season? I don't understand.
I don't think he does. Part of me almost wonders if he just thinks that he's like trying to convince himself of this, like really just trying to pound this down. I don't know.
This felt, I thought that this was the week we were going to see George go. And like, we all think George is the king and all that. Like, he's a great player. We all recognize that. But like, and this is why I felt it felt different too, is because we know Simon has always wanted to get George. Nina has been on board to get George. We thought we saw Matt on board to get George last week. And then Jerry's been betrayed. This should have been 4 people that were all like, this is time. This is the time. We have the numbers. Let's do it. It literally doesn't even matter if Liz was in on it or not. You got 4 people solid that all feel like they have to get George out. And they just, it just didn't happen.
Right, and it's like,
this was a no-brainer.
I'm gonna say something rude, but like, yeah, George is a great player. George is the king. But at some point, it stops being about what a great player George is, and it starts being about how stupid the rest of the players are. It doesn't matter if you're a good player or not. Everyone else is too dumb to know how to play the game.
It's not just that they're stupid; it's that they're stupid.
Like,
And like, it doesn't even have to be other people in the game saying like how great of a game George plays, because every tribal he always says like, I'm the one who put this winning ship together. I'm the one that did this. I'm the one that did that. I had to send out Shawnee, but she was one of my best friends, but I had to do it. It's like he's telling you that he's making all these decisions.
Yeah.
Get rid of them, because we could have a pretty even playing field. If George was eliminated and you had somebody like Simon or Nina still in there with this Final Four that we now have, that would be a very evenly matched Final Four. Exciting. Like any of these people could win, like, but I feel like as long as George is there, he is the clear winner of this game.
George
Yeah.
is literally telling them every step of the way, this is why I'm better than you. This is why I'm going to win, because I have done everything in this game and I'm smarter than you. And they're like, yeah, you're right. Have another week.
Yeah. Do you think it's also possible, though, that maybe there's just a plan that we have not been made privy to? Like, there's definitely a lot of conversations, like in this, that we know we're not seeing, right? Only as much as the edit will allow. But do you think that maybe it's possible, because George does not win these challenges? The only challenge that he ever won was that one that he was motivated by KFC, like to get some chicken. Like otherwise, like
partner
this
in
man
that too,
does,
you know.
yeah, he had a partner. He doesn't really win these. So do you think that maybe they have more of a plan to cut him, like maybe going to final 3? Or for somebody to win that one at 3 and not take him to 2.
I just don't know why they would wait that long and risk it. You're waiting so long.
I mean, George seems to be very aware to me that if it comes down to Jerry having to make the decision or Matt, they're both taking each other, not him. So like, yeah, I really don't know. But he'll probably talk his way through that too somehow.
It's wild.
The thing is, like, I think that actually could be George's end.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's going to be able to be the one to choose who he's sitting next to. Which means that
I don't either.
I don't. Unless they don't do it that way and they just do 3. And they'll just sit there. Didn't they end one season like that?
Could be.
That 3 presented a case? Maybe
Totally
Survivor
remember,
somewhere. Who knows? But if that was the case, that could be interesting, because then you're screwed. But I don't think that's how this was being said, because it sounds as if like they know they're going to 2.
I mean, I don't know Australian enough to
right.
Oh, there you go, Matt Blevins. Last season was the final 3.
That could be the only way we get George there.
Yeah.
Do you think Liz would take him?
No.
I hope not. At this point, she has now been burned by him twice. I was shocked I was so shocked after the first time he burned her that she continued to work with him, because that was like a big moment when he cut Shawnee. That was a huge detriment to Liz's game. Right. And I didn't understand in that moment why she continued to go along with whatever plan he was slinging, and how she was shocked in this episode to see him cut Nina. Like, I don't know how she didn't anticipate getting burned again and getting blindsided again and being on the wrong side of the vote again.
Yeah.
Well, because I think that she did believe that, there still was a good reason for George to cut Matt. Like, well, we're already there, right? Since we're talking about this. So, like, do you really think it was the best decision for George to cut Nina?
I mean, granted, from what he said when he was like holding up his vote or whatever, it sounded like that decision changed during the tribal. Like, he was always gonna vote out Matt, and then based on what Nina was saying, was like, never mind, and cut her like in that moment.
Yeah.
At least that's the impression I got.
Refresh my memory. What was it that she said that triggered that?
She was talking a lot about I think she was talking a lot about like Matt and Jerry following. I forget exactly what it was, but she even made a comment after it. Like, I probably shouldn't have said that. But I think it was, a lot of just I think she was also talking negatively about George, about how like he had to be taken out of the game. Like
Well, she was
I forget
also,
exactly what it was though.
from my understanding, and I could be misremembering, but it seemed like she was basically like, because that was in the moment where she was calling out Jerry for being like, I don't know why you think you have so much agency in the game when you've been carried the whole way. And what George said when he held up the vote was, I can deal, whatever. It was something like, I could deal with a pissed off Liz more than I can deal with a pissed off Jerry. Like, I don't want to like anger Jerry anymore. Like, I think it's more like he could use Jerry to further his game because Liz has more agency, or like Liz is like a better player. So he would rather, like, if he had to cut ties with one side, cut ties with the side that like could best him later, is how I interpreted it anyway.
All right.
You know,
I mean, I guess so, but I'm not really sure that that's the case. I don't know. I think George would have a problem no matter which way he kind of went on this one. Just because I do think these people are a little bit wiser than they're getting credit for.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're showing us.
I don't know. It's just every time that I get my
feel
hopes
like
up
they
that they're
know.
gonna cut him, they don't.
I know.
There have been so many times this season that I'm like, oh, this is the one that's gonna be different. You know?
Right, because that's they want you to think, and now they purposely are thinking that it's not going to happen, and that way you're really surprised, like when it happens, like on Sunday.
I mean,
know?
I hope so. That's more
It has to be.
interesting.
It has to be. He can't go to two.
Now,
No one's. He's not going to win his way there.
Yeah. Well, now Matt's back on the side of saying like I need to take a shot at George. If you saw that last next on.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. It's just that he's. I don't know why that ever went away. Just never should have gone away.
Like, I was hoping so much that this whole isolation thing was going to have the exact conversation that Nina and Jerry were having. Jerry obviously very upset. And I was hoping that Matt, when he won that immunity challenge, was going to come back and say, all right, you know, like, Jerry, like, George tried to screw you over. I wanted to try to take a swing at him last week. Now we still have the numbers to do it. Let's do it. You know, like, and it was just not even, it didn't seem like it was even a thought to Matt during these 2 episodes this week.
It's so foolish because like that is the winning move. At this point, whoever cuts George, that's the winning move. You know? Whoever like has the ability to do it and successfully orchestrates it, that's it. You sealed the deal, you know?
Yeah. Oh. God. I really like I wanted Matt to do it. I would have been rooting for Matt, you know, if he went through with it to. But now I'm just like, whatever, man. Let's go, Liz. I pray that she wins the next immunity challenge.
Oh, I hope so too. What did you think of this other one though? The one that we actually got in this, I guess, like today's episode, with the balls on the what do you want to call it, like a plate, the dish, whatever you want to call it, on a stick.
This is one of those that like made my blood was boiling watching it happen because I was thinking about how frustrated I would be trying to play it.
I absolutely, I don't even know that I would even try some of this stuff.
God.
Balancing those stupid balls on that balance beam and then having to now navigate through that, you know, that high thing with the squares, like basically the big grid. That's your feet going up and down.
Yeah. I got you.
Right.
Square shaped. Like absolutely not. And that tumble that George took.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like Humpty Dumpty. Terrible. It was very sad to see a disgraced king. All right.
Liz killed this,
ass
though.
over tiara. Liz sure did.
Yeah.
Liz sure did.
I don't like that's the thing. Once you get to that, like, do they call it a puzzle? I guess it's a puzzle. Whatever that last piece of it was.
Thing, a maze.
Never.
Reminded me of Big Brother a little bit. Reminded me of the Big Brother game.
Yeah,
a
but
bit,
about 1,000 times harder.
Right. Now I would like to play that. It looks fun. I just don't want to be timed.
I would lose once and be like, "That's it. I'm done. No more. That's enough of that."
Oh, no,
gave it my best shot.
That's my kind of game. I like that.
Oh no,
Even
I would
if they had that as,
immediately
like,
get
a video
angry.
game and just doing like this with like the Switch controller or something, I would have a blast.
The immediate frustration I'd be like, "Okay, I'm out.
Oh, you know, this looked fun to me, but I just think I would freak out if I was being timed.
Well, sure.
Yeah. But that's all.
What did you think? What did you think about the immunity challenge that Matt won, though? Did we get into that at all with the blocks
No,
and the?
Because
No,
I
we
don't
didn't.
remember it. I don't remember.
So it was that big circular thing where you
Oh.
had to stack the blocks like dominoes, and then
I really like this one too.
I liked it too.
It was a good one.
Very
I
fun to
will
watch.
say, because I noticed like people were saying online, like on Twitter, that Matt hadn't used all the blocks.
It's okay
And
though.
I know I saw Simon's post because you
Mhm.
just had to make it a full 360 around and
Mhm.
get them all to knock over. But it was honestly, I still feel like Simon got robbed in a way because like he successfully
He was
had all of his
there.
blocks stacked there in a full 360 and would have done it. And like it just seems funny that like you get all these dominoes and there's just one sitting there on Matt's table. I think there was one on the ground at his feet, and I'm like, look at how nice Simon's looks, and it came out perfectly. I'm like, ah.
Well, if there was
Yeah.
one on the ground, that actually pisses me off more. Like, fine if you didn't use all the dominoes, but wasn't the whole thing like if one hits the ground, it has to be placed back
has
on
to
the
be placed
table? There
back on the
can't be
table.
anything on the ground.
And maybe it fell on the ground like after, and I noticed it like right at the last second or something. But yeah, that could have been. But like, it's still just annoying to see one player not even like use all the blocks, and then Simon has his perfectly
You
set
won
up.
by literally seconds. I was so mad.
Especially because we like Simon better. Like
Yeah,
that's like extra salt on the wound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say all I can think about in Simon's exit was I'm so fucking glad he won that car.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he's
really
walking
happy
away with
for him.
something.
I forgot about the
Yeah.
car. Yeah.
No, Simon had a great season, and
Mhm.
one of the things that because he definitely was annoying me in the beginning of this one, but I was really so endeared towards him towards the latter end of this.
His arc was wild. He was so chaotic and honestly terrible at the game in the very beginning. And the arc that he went through this entire season was wild.
Right. And like I just feel like he took so many L's, and he just like I don't know, like he just had such a good attitude towards it. Like he was still like so positive. Like a lot of people have been like really, really negative about always being on the wrong side of the vote and all this stuff. And he was just always smiling, just like, yeah, this day sucks.
And even just
Like-
like the amount of times that he spent on the bottom and on the wrong side of the vote to get to 6 is insane.
Because he just kept winning things. He just
Mhm.
kept winning and like taking care of it for himself. Like he was making all these blunders everywhere else, but like just kept himself safe. So it didn't matter. It was
I
awesome.
think of all the people from the cast this season, returners, newbies, whatever, I think that Simon is the one that I want to see on another season again over anybody else. And I think that he has learned, like, I know this was his second time playing, but I feel like especially this time around, I feel like he like learned and grew from the experience. And I think we could see him come into like a new season, like, and play the game really well from start to finish. Personally, I want to see him back. I like Simon. I like Simon a lot.
I'd like to see him back too. I'm not going to say more than anyone else. He's at least tied for first with someone else. I mean,
That you would want to see. Well, who?
Shawnee.
Oh, well, of course, Shawnee. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't so sure. You were riding really hard for Simon here, and you said more than anyone else. I want Simon. It's like okay. Like,
Well, because I feel
he's
like more
homeboy
than
and
anyone else,
everything. Like, let's just ease.
I feel like more than anyone else, he deserves another shot at this game. Like Shawnee's played 3 times now, right? So like, it would be a 4th for her. Like for Simon, it would only be his 3rd now. You know, like
I get it.
I feel like over anyone else, especially people that haven't played 3 times already, I want to see Simon come back.
Okay. All right, fine. All right. I think this week's events again, like really do a pounding to our rankings, right? So we're really going to select one favorite person of the week, and I would venture to say that we probably all have the same favorite.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right? I actually would be surprised if it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Should we try to say the name on 3? Like 1, 2, 3, name.
But what's funny is that like the lag is gonna make this sound so chaotic to the listeners. Like we're never gonna be in time.
They're gonna love it.
They're gonna love it.
Yeah. Should we try to sing it in a 3-part harmony?
No.
Oh no.
I don't want anybody to know that we do that.
Oh my god.
All right, ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Liz. Yeah,
Of course.
it's gotta be. It has to be. I mean,
yeah.
Mhm.
I
was really nervous in that moment that I was going to say a name that neither of you were going to say. That was a panicky moment for me.
I secretly hoped it would happen, but I also
Yeah,
kind
me
of
too.
figured it
I was really
wouldn't.
nervous. I was like, this feels like the obvious answer, but I don't know what it is.
No, it has to be. I mean, like,
it
listen,
has to be.
I appreciate George. I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of him
Mhm.
stomping around, just going on his little tirades. I'm tired of
And
his total domination, blah, blah,
At this
blah.
point, it's like
Um,
less impressive too.
Yeah,
know?
like I just don't care. I just don't care.
Yeah.
What else don't I care about? Matt is just too annoying now. I can't say that he's my favorite. I do like that he's won so many immunity challenges. Like I'm impressed with him and everything, but I just feel like he's being a sheep.
What really sealed Liz for, oh sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say if we had to pick 3 this week, my 3 would have been Liz, because she is my favorite. George, just because he continues to dominate, and then the only other person I would have picked was Matt because he won that immunity challenge. So like I had reasons to pick 3, but like I really didn't want to pick 3 because I only really have one favorite this week.
Yeah, well,
right.
Nina was going to be my number 1, but we're not talking about that right now. But what really sealed Liz for me was like specifically in the moment where like she was basically kind of calling George out, being like, don't be an idiot. Why are you riding so hard to protect Jerry and Matt?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? What is the matter
She said
with
he was
you?
getting soft.
It was true. She was like, you have to cut them. What are you doing? And just like her,
Yeah.
like reaming into him a little bit. I was like, okay, this is somebody who has agency in this. Like, yeah, you're with him right now and you should have cut him a long time ago. But like, at least you have the foresight to be like, all right, I'm not just going to lay down and do whatever he wants me to do. Like, I know what we should be doing.
Right.
You know?
I guess we'll see. If he doesn't go Sunday, I think it's over.
Yeah. I honestly think if Liz doesn't win that next immunity challenge, it's already over. Because you know what I mean? Like it's just I think she has to win that immunity challenge. Because then she can tell, you know, Jerry and Matt, it's going to be one of you if you don't vote George out. I'm safe. So the only way for you to move forward in the game, both of you now, is to cut George. So are you still going to try to protect him?
Because if he makes it to 3 and it is a 3-person, like whatever, the only other way for him to lose would be a bitter jury. But we've seen every single exit so far. Like they are just so respectful of the game. And they're like, yeah, sure. You got me. Fine.
Yeah.
Like there is not a single person in that jury that I can see being bitter about any of the way that this game went. They're all like hugging each other on the way out. Like, honestly, great game. Like you did it. Good job. Here for it. See you later. You know?
So now what happens if we do end up with a Matt and Jerry final 2?
I would say Matt wins.
Is it that cut and dry?
I mean, he's won, 3 immunity challenges so far? I mean, what does Jerry have to go off of at all? I mean, Matt hasn't really made
Jerry
any moves.
Has a lot of social things. You know, Jerry was up against a lot of, difficult things, and there's certainly an argument to be made there.
Has Jerry won any challenges? I feel like Jerry's won immunity. Hasn't
not an individual. I don't think so.
I don't remember.
I don't think an individual. I think he may have helped in some other things, but
he's definitely gone like toe to toe. He's been like one of the last people in, but I could have sworn he won something, but maybe I made that up. I don't know.
No, I don't think he has, because everybody that's been winning, I think Simon won 3, Matt won 3, Liz won 3. I know Nina won 1. Like everybody else has been winning them. I don't remember Jerry ever winning anything, but I feel like even if Jerry like faced some hardship in the beginning and worked his way through socially and like kind of navigated his way through the game, I almost feel like in the last couple of tribals and stuff, he's undid a lot of that by just constantly being like, George is my mentor. I just do whatever George says. I'm just with George and George. I feel like that's all anyone's going to remember, you know, like
Yeah, but I mean, I think all that Matt really has to say for himself is that he's won the immunity challenges. But as far as anybody,
but at least that gives him agency, you know.
Yeah, but it depends on how you now are defining what agency means. Simply because now you've won competitions, that's not necessarily the only way that
Oh, of
one
course,
can,
yeah.
gain agency in the game. And I think that, Jerry is still has been, he was never without a vote. He was still in the middle of things, and he did have to come back for somebody who did not win competitions to still kind of be in the conversation, have made it this long, and had that injury, was then deemed completely useless and worthless, and can be scrapped to the side by Sam.
Yeah.
To now all of a sudden, I would say that is gaining some agency in the game. You went from being nothing to now Final Four. I mean, even if you got.
Your mic, yeah.
When I'm on a tear. But I mean, you certainly did maybe something arguably that made George obviously feel safer around you than with Johnny.
Yeah. I do also
Granted,
think
that was a different situation. She was dangerous, a whole lot more dangerous than he was, right? That's really why she left when she did. But
I do also think that Matt has the that whole decision that he made of I'm going to jump ship from who I'm working with now to now go over and work with this other group. Like Flick made the opposite decision, and she was out like the next tribal. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like after she decided to go against that side, she was out immediately. Whereas Matt made the move. Plus, he's won these immunities to keep himself safe. Because there have been times that people were throwing his name out there. I remember one tribal in particular that like he got 4 votes from people like Sean and Nina, who were all his allies at one point. Like, Matt has taken some risks at some point in this game. I just feel like between the two of them, between Matt and Jerry, I feel like their games are pretty even, except for the fact that Matt has won 3 immunity challenges. I feel like that just puts him over the top of Jerry.
I mean, I still believe that Matt has the edge. I just don't think Jerry is getting the shine that he deserves for still getting here. Because he was behind the 8 ball a whole lot more than Matt ever was. Jerry's worst day was still far worse than Matt's,
Yeah.
And he came back from it for not winning anything. So
maybe I would change my mind, when they're making their arguments at the final 2, if Jerry has a convincing argument. But I just feel like I was saying, like I think like Nina rolled her eyes in that tribal. I think the rest of the jury is rolling their eyes along with with her.
You could kind of see all of them like smirking and like looking at each other when he was talking, and they don't really take him seriously.
I feel like
and they shouldn't. In that regard, like they should not when you're going to sit here and say that you were being a leader.
Yeah.
No. Now, if you want to make your argument around the fact that I was following a little bit because I knew that this was my way to get out of this was my way to gain agency in this game, was to now kind of align myself with the person who had the most. Like, if you can make an argument that way, I'm not saying that's an easy argument to make. You can certainly try. That's certainly better than saying that I was a leader. Like, I'd be rolling my eyes at being a leader too. No, you're going to have to really fall into the fact that, you have to really lean into that one and just try to convince us it was intentional.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, how different would we be talking about Jerry right now if during that isolation with Nina, they both decided like we're definitely voting out George, Simon got on board, and then Jerry at Tribal was like, well, I've been working with this, this crew the whole time, but I got burned by them. And that's gonna reflect my vote tonight. And then George got voted out. Like
totally
all of a
different
sudden,
situation.
Everyone would be like, "Whoa, Jerry!" Like,
completely different conversation.
Yes, you could say, I was following you. I was following you because I knew that was the safe thing to do until you struck at me. You lost, so now I struck back, and my first swing at you, I won. Then forget it. I would take that.
Absolutely, yeah. Different conversation.
But no,
and now
you got sent into timeout, and you came out singing his praises as if he punished you.
Sent into timeout.
Basically, gave you a pow, right? And all of a sudden you come back, you're like, oh no, I'm a very good boy. I'm a very good boy. You're my soulmate. You're my sunshine.
You're my mentor. Gushing over him, just gushing over, and that's why I think he's almost hurting his own case now too. If he had one at all, like by just constantly saying, "Well, this is my mentor. I've learned so much from him." It's like, well, then why would anybody vote for you? It's funny. This comment from Matt right here, Matt Blevins. If Matt or Jerry are the winner, then they'll be the least visible winner in AU history, and it's like. think about the people that were on this show this season, and if we end up with a final 2 of Matt and Jerry, like how unexpected and like kind of disappointing. I'm sorry, Matt and Jerry, but like,
yeah, but if it was Liz in the final, I would accept her as that's exciting.
hell yeah. Like if we got Liz and Matt in the final 2, both challenge beasts, you know, I would be okay with that final 2.
Sure. I mean, I still think it's Liz's game, but
Oh, I agree. But I guess of the people that are left, if it was Liz and Matt, I think I'd be most happy with that final 2 than any other. I think.
Sure.
Yeah. If Matt or Jerry win, would be on a Gabler level of WTF. Whatever. What the fuck just happened? That says. Yeah. I'm suddenly not super jazzed about this endgame now. I have to be honest with you. Yeah. With the exit of Nina and Simon, it took like real serious blows for me. Yeah. Because I was really ready to put all of my eggs in the Nina basket once Simon left.
Nina was 1,000% my number one after Simon was gone. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. So this really hurts. I mean, I'll still be tuning in at 7 a.m. to watch. But I'm upset. This is not how I wanted to leave Australia.
Yeah. In what has been a great season, this was like the most frustrating,
worst case scenario,
biggest like bummer of a week of competitive reality TV I've watched in a while.
Yeah.
Simon and Nina out the door. Oh,
one right after the other.
And it's true. Like George actually said it. Like the people that are left are the final 3 he made with Matt and Jerry, and Liz, who has no one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like, what have you guys done? Like, what have you done?
Sucks. And they keep saying this is the best season ever. It's not going to end that way, unfortunately, in my opinion.
It's been so good the whole time.
Yeah. And now it's like, wah, 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 wah. But, all right. So the week ahead, huh? Thursday, Big Brother Canada 11 at 9:30. Recapping all the events of the week and such. We're none too pleased already. We'll see how the rest of it goes. And then next Monday, I guess we're wrapping up Australian Survivor. It's been a wild ride.
Yeah.
Kind of ended fast. Like, it was a lot of episodes and everything. But, like, I feel like we really just started just a few weeks ago. It's only been 2 months.
So by the time this ends, it'll have been, 24 episodes, I think? And it felt like it went by so fast compared to the Challenge 38, which was only 19 episodes, 5 episodes less than this.
But why are we still
3 months longer?
Like, literally, anytime we talk about any other show, he's like, but this is nothing compared to the Challenge 38. It's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Why are we still talking about it?
Because the Challenge 38 will always be the season that I use like the barometer now of like, how long did this season feel like?
Well, it's going longer because we're still talking about it.
One of the most awful things that we did.
Oh my God.
Awful.
You know what? I didn't do it all today. I just have to do it one time. I'm sorry.
No.
It's Mon Monday. That was all.
And that is how we leave.
Great.
Challenge 38 fucked you all up. It did. I'm still traumatized. All right, I'm done now.
But anyway, and I guess we'll figure out when we're covering Survivor 44. Are we starting that next week, or do you want to give it another week? I'd rather just roll right into it. Just have full-blown Survivor night, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's pick her up. Mikey will be here, joining us the whole season. Wait, did we tell Gina that?
No, but that's so fun.
Oh yeah, welcome. Yeah, welcome to the. Because I don't know where
they
I
don't
say
tell
things.
me nothing.
Well, because you already knew about it and you were already like down for it, so like it wasn't like whatever. So yeah, Michael will be with us every other Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I like the every other schedule because it gives you 2 episodes to talk about, so it's like a meatier conversation. I quite enjoy that.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy that.
Meaty.
So,
pretty meaty, you know.
Meaty. When should we do the finale of this? Should we do 9:30 or 10:30 for the finale of Australia? Because if it's going to be a 2-stream Monday, right? We don't really. Do we want to pigeonhole ourselves into an hour for a season recap? Do we want to push this back so we're not stuck?
Huh. I don't know.
Right. Interesting. We'll think about it offline. We'll tell you on the socials what we're doing. One or the other, obviously, will happen. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. Don't check the updated website. We don't put anything there, apparently. You'll never know. So sorry. And I really jammed that up. I'm tired. Bye. Thanks a lot.